configuration.
So we're like
the first time I did that,
Ninja
my
Plus.
hard drive
Ninja Plus.
didn't even
Yeah.
appear.
Is that like
on
New
the
Game
list.
Plus?
Yes.
Okay.
I redid it and unlocked another option. And
Can we still fight him?
Before you
I hope
actually
so.
do anything, you should probably open your computer back up, unplug your hard drive, and then plug it back in, just to make sure it's fully connected. Because I remember my computer used to have that problem, and one of my hard drives would just sometimes not be there. I did that. I never have the problem
Well,
again.
this was something different. Like when I actually go into the BIOS and
If you're just joining us, Game On's become a tech show where we talk about computer
I'm
problems.
not sure why, 'cause I only have 2 drives.
You have, wait, 3 hard drive options?
So anyway,
Do you have multiple partitions
Speaking over
on
them,
any of your hard drives?
Well, we might as well.
That
yeah.
would be why.
This one was like Asus something. I'm not sure.
movies. Back to movies.
That would be my motherboard.
I've seen a good movie lately.
Maybe.
No,
Like,
because
that's
I'm
next
hyped
to
for... Well, okay, I saw the Wizard of Oz prequel, which is okay.
Was it okay?
And I
Okay.
went in there
Like,
and,
a lot of people were giving
when you
shit
choose
about
primary
how...
boot, secondary boot, there were only the 2
what is
options
it,
in there, but then there was
what's the
something
guy's name
else,
again?
like some other weird option below that. I went in there and
What is the main guy's name?
chose
I
my hard
had...
Like,
drive as
in the movie or
primary,
the
so
actor?
The guy,
Outdated
the actor, he
up,
played
got the
Norman
driver and
Osborn's
everything.
kid, Harry Osborn. I don't know.
Oh,
Guild Wars set it to
God
best
damn
for
it, I know
performance.
this.
You know,
And or not performance.
Who's
best appearance.
the guy that's the main guy in the new Wizard of Oz movie? That he was in
Nobody
Spider-Man.
cares.
We care.
Well,
This is
we're
The
trying
new
relevant.
Spider-Man? I mean, I don't remember the actors' names.
That's what we're trying to
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
know the actors'
Yeah.
names.
It'll come to me in a
I chose
minute.
best
I remember.
appearance, and I decided,
But no, like, okay,
that guy.
That guy.
I
I should know as soon as we get this conversation over with, I'll remember.
And is
But,
best appearance actually
I
the
was talking with
best
people, they're all
No.
saying, oh, he's not that
That's why I
great an
modified. I
actor,
feel
he
like
shouldn't
I
have
had
been
shadows on
in
high,
that
so
role. And I'm like, what are you
ultra,
talking about? He's
Murderous
okay.
Will, like,
You know, I've
number of
heard seen
players
worse.
and stuff
And-
was only high instead of high, so I
Yeah.
left that because
Whatever, right? And then I always throw out the suggestion that even that the only one I would really rather see is Robert Downey Jr. because
Well, that's because you
I think it
have
was
a man
shadows
crush
I
on him.
lowered
Yeah, I
it
do.
because that was
It's
impacting
unfortunate,
my
but I
FPS a
do.
little. But right now, I'm
But no,
seeing
like,
Lionel
actually, I
Touch
found
getting,
out
like,
from Gary,
47 frames per second.
a few days
Like, when
after
I
that conversation
scroll my camera
that
around,
originally
it's
they
so
had
smooth.
Robert Downey Jr. cast
Really?
for the
That's
role,
Although,
That's great.
didn't
and
you
they
have
switched him out last
99
minute.
before?
I'm
Oh,
like,
it's James Franco.
That was in Super Adventure.
I knew it was Jay something.
I thought it was
And
James
for
Franco
obvious
too,
reasons,
but
'cause there really
Yeah.
are no graphics in there.
Like the name
Wonder if it's
Frank
gonna
kept
change
coming
now.
to my head.
Yeah.
There's a J in there, like Frank and J. I don't know.
Load your new computer when you get that up and can set everything off as a
I was gonna say, like, we talked about this at work like 2 weeks ago, and I
know.
was like, who was it? Because we were talking about Freaks and Geeks. That's why.
Freaks and Geeks. I love that show too.
Oh, I love that show. Great
but,
show.
But anyway, but
Yeah,
technique.
But aside from that, I haven't seen anything new.
Mhm.
I've heard Spring Breakers is pretty good, but it's not really my thing. Ironically, also another James Franco movie. But the movie I'm most hyped for right now, and I'm sure
course.
anyone can guess,
Fucking
Iron Man 3, 18 well, actually, by the time this comes out, probably like 16 days away, who knows.
Yeah.
But, like, oh man, like, every trailer and every bit of news I hear about is good. Like, they even said recently that there's going to be another Avenger in the movie. I don't know if it's going to be one that's already been established.
Ant-Man.
Or Ant-Man or something like that, where it's like one who they're introducing for a later movie.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Ant-Man.
be
I hope it's
Batman.
Ant-Man.
What?
It's gonna be Batman.
Oh my god, between you and Mike getting your fucking
Dude,
DC Marvel mixed up.
it's got to be the Hulk. Otherwise, it's just not going to be the same.
But it's got to introduce
Okay, see,
one,
the
that's
Hulk
what I'm thinking.
makes sense because
No,
he's
no,
Marvel.
no. I mean, it has to focus on the Hulk.
He's
Iron
gonna
Man
be the-
3, Hulk is the focus.
Yes. Iron Man 3, the main character's Ant-Man.
It's gonna be Wolverine, and he's gonna be the main character.
Fox wouldn't do that. But my speculation is this. It'll be Ant-Man as a means of introducing him before Avengers 2. It'll be the Hulk because they've already established the buddy relationship between him and Bruce Banner. Or it'll be like fucking Hawkeye just coming in and be like, "What's up, Tony? We gonna go do a mission or something?" And Tony's like, "No,
No.
no." Those are my
Chronic
guesses.
alcohol.
But I don't know. Who would you want to see in it? Because
Ant-Man, always Ant-Man.
Ant-Man is the
Did
best
you say
Avenger.
the Penguin?
Yes.
Go away.
Who'd you say?
The Penguin.
What?
A DC villain.
What the fuck is wrong with you? The podcast we're talking about Justice League. You're like, they should put it in the Hulk.
Goku would fit in.
God damn it! Neither of you guys know shit about shit.
You should show up to work one morning that Aaron and Mike and I are there. Trust, like, other Mike, like Flowers Mike. We'll play some more Superhero Smackdown and it'll be great.
That
was a fun day.
That was fun. It was really good.
For those of you that don't know, Superhero Smackdown, we basically spent an entire morning at work when we were supposed to be working, you know.
What's work?
Well, yeah, we would pick 2 heroes. And,
or villains.
Or 2 whatevers, and we would pit them against each other in a cage match of some sort. My favorite being the Iron Man-Superman cage match, which ended up becoming how long before Iron Man dies, not who would win.
Well, here's my thing. If he could figure out how to make a kryptonite, synthetic kryptonite while he was talking to Superman,
That would take like 5 minutes.
he could win.
He would have to actually be able to make it.
Yeah.
You just call up Batman
Dude,
and ask him to send
he
one
made
over.
his fucking chess piece in a cave, the box of scraps.
Yeah.
How much time did he have?
That's true.
He only had a few days, probably.
A few days. We're talking he's fighting Superman.
Dude,
Superman wants to tear him apart.
All he's got to do is sweet talk Superman into letting him live a little longer.
He had a lot more
It's
than
like
a
if
few
they don't know
days.
the fight in advance, they just kind of come across each other and decide to kill each other.
No,
they're just like randomly, like they
it's like
wake up in a cage and it's like you guys have to fight and one guy can come out.
No, it's like a death battle. You're not you're not allowed to prepare. Otherwise, like then the other guy also has time to prepare.
Well, if you're not allowed to prepare, then Iron Man doesn't know anything about Superman, wouldn't know anything about his weakness.
Well, okay, but
Probably
here's what I'm
just
banking
bust
on
out
is
of
that
there.
I gave Iron Man 17 minutes. He would have 10 minutes. Well, anywhere from 16 to 17. 10 minutes are him smooth talking Superman with like kryptonite-proof suits and just like
here's a citizen in my company. You should tell me to go
like
for it.
10 minutes of
It'd
smooth
be
talking.
hype.
5 minutes of him flying around, not dying, and shooting lasers, and then anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes of Superman just tearing him in half. And so that was my prediction. Let us know in the comments below how long you think that Iron Man could last in a cage match with Superman.
Now, another one I really liked was our Thor vs Superman one. That was pretty
That one was
fair.
actually pretty good. That one seems balanced.
In a non-stupid way.
Yeah, because like I mean, as much as I love Batman, it's kind of hard to pit him against like some of the heroes with real powers. Like I love Batman. I think Batman's a fantastic superhero, but like
I think he could fairly fight against Iron Man, but I think Iron Man wins out because Iron Man's more willing to kill.
Yeah.
Jesus totally had a sword.
But no, definitely Thor and Superman, because Thor can actually do some damage.
Yeah, Thor's one of the few heroes that could actually hurt Superman without much effort.
Yeah, without needing kryptonite, basically.
Yeah, because fucking magic.
Yeah.
Question: Superman's weakness is magic. If I threw Magic the Gathering cards at him, would that hurt him at all? Okay.
I have a box full of commons and uncommons.
So you have the advantage.
Yes. So I'll just it's like garlic. I'll just hoard it in my basement and I'll bring it on Superman and just throw commons and uncommons at his face.
Magic was Thor's weakness.
Wait. That means Gambit could
but
totally take
Superman
on
That's what I was
Superman.
thinking. I was like, what
weaker
if you
against
give
it than
Gambit
Thor,
just a deck of
because
magic
Thor
cards
is
and he's just
used to
fuck
it,
you,
as
you
well
just
as
take
a lot
him
of his
down.
stuff
I gotta
is
use red
magic,
cards, though,
whereas
'cause that
Superman,
makes
nothing
sense.
about him is magic or magic protection.
So one of my favorite fights I've seen so far is the Goku vs Superman death battle.
It should be Apocalypse versus everyone.
What? No.
Yes.
Apocalypse is one of the worst villains I've ever seen.
Are you kidding? He's
Like,
awesome.
power-wise, he's impressive, but he's just such a shitty villain. Like, yeah, he can do anything. So who gives a fuck? It's like Thanos or Darkseid. Like, they're cool villains for, a one-off, oh, hey, here's a powerful god from another dimension. But then once you've, seen the arc and he's been beaten somehow, it's like, okay, I don't really give a fuck about him anymore.
Thanos is the
Superman.
Thanos is the villain in Avengers 2, correct? I vaguely remember that. I haven't seen
That's
Avengers
the
in a while.
leading theory, unless they're building him up more for a third one.
Okay,
But
because
we'll
I
see.
haven't seen Avengers since the theatrical release. I haven't picked it up on DVD yet because I'm a bum. But
I'm hoping that for Avengers 2, they do, the Infinity Gauntlet, because there's a lot of hints saying that's going to be the case.
Okay.
Because they've shown the Infinity Gauntlet in Thor.
Mhm.
They have Guardians of the Galaxy, and one of the characters there has one of the gems that goes into the device, the gauntlet. And Thor the Dark World, I'm
shit.
guessing will have more hints at it too, but I don't know of any specifically yet, because they only have
Okay.
shown a few images of, behind-the-scenes stuff. Captain America's not going to have anything related to it, as far as I know, because it's just Winter Soldier, so nothing there. And I know not enough about Iron Man 3 to make any judgment calls.
Right.
So...
Okay, question. How would you feel if they made a Justice League movie in the realm of the Avengers type of thing? Because honestly,
within the time span, or
Well,
what
just-
do you mean within the realm?
Okay, because basically, I can't decide on the whole Marvel versus DC debate where, Marvel, I think, has a nice, well-rounded cast of heroes. But my favorite 2 heroes are Green Lantern and Batman, and those are DC heroes. Like, if they made an Avengers-esque movie, but with DC characters, how would you feel about that? Like,
I'd be hyped for it, but here's the thing, and someone else has pointed this out before. I think it was on the Rooster Teeth podcast, so I might be wrong. The Marvel heroes were more designed, from what it looks like, to be able to like cohesively meld together into like new stories. True. Whereas the DC heroes, like, they were originally built as separate things, and then they were kind of forced into each other's worlds.
Okay.
So when they join up, it feels a little more stilted because the whole DC universe started off way more fractured.
Okay.
That ass.
Like, for example, Batman works well on his own, but when you put him with Superman, while it's still really cool, it just seems really kind of weird.
Like forced. Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, Iron Man, for example, it sort of works when he's, like, with the Hulk, because, you know, they just made it fit so much better.
Right. That makes sense.
Or when you, like, put Spider-Man with the X-Men, like, that was one of those moments you're like, you know, it was just that good.
I vote that just make a good Green Lantern movie, and I'll be happy, because, frankly, the Dark Knight trilogy was awesome. The Dark Knight, like, the second part of the trilogy is my favorite superhero movie. It beats out the Avengers because I'm such a big Batman fan, and Joker is the perfect villain. But I won't even go see the Green Lantern movie because I've heard it's so bad.
Man, it's so good.
I'd say rent it just so you can see the awfulness of it.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I love the Dark Knight. I love the trilogy. It's got 2.5 good movies in it. But here's my thing. The dark, gritty thing worked for Batman, and I see they're doing something similar to that with Superman.
Yes, they are. I'm actually intrigued by that, even though I think Superman is a very bad hero and I don't like him. I'll see it, probably.
Here's my thing, though. You really can't take the dark and gritty approach with everybody, because...
Yeah, that's true.
For example, Superman, I just can't see him being...
Because he's the golden boy.
Yeah, I just can't see him breaking, like, rules in ways that Batman would.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, much the same way, if you do him right. If you do the Ryan Reynolds version, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Flash, he is sort of untamed, but he has morals that he sticks by.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, she's got morals she sticks by as too, but she's a little more fucking brutal about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even with the Green Lantern, I think you could do it. I know Sean brought this up in the superhero podcast, because I remember watching that one, but I'll bring it up again. Right now I'm reading my way through all the Green Lantern comics, and in Volume 3, Kyle Rayner takes over as Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And there is...
That's after the whole Parallax thing, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, basically, Hal Jordan does some shit, and Kyle Rayner becomes the last Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And there is an issue, I believe it's issue 54, Volume 3, if I remember correctly, and Kyle's girlfriend gets killed by Major Force, and he just tortures the fuck out of Major Force because he can't kill him, and he just destroys this guy until the cops have to stop him, and he just, like, ruins this guy. That's pretty dark. I think you could maybe get away with it, and you could even do it theoretically with Hal Jordan with the whole Parallax thing, but then you're making him into a villain, so it doesn't
here's
really work.
the problem with the whole Parallax thing. I like even spoil the movie a little bit because it's a shitty movie.
Yeah.
Parallax was introduced way later into the franchise.
Right.
Because when they first brought him in as the evil version of Hal Jordan, it was to make sales. And then they brought Parallax in as a bug monster thing because they wanted to redeem him as being possessed by an evil space bug rather than being just evil.
Hal Jordan.
Yeah. So I get that. But when you're doing the, like, origin movie of Green Lantern, you should avoid any of that completely.
Yeah.
Not because it's necessarily bad, even though it kind of is, but because it has nothing to do with the origin story.
That's true.
Like, if anything, they should have just cut that out and kept the origin story as simple as possible, and maybe even have made it more just space cops oriented, where he's just out in space doing cool space cop stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the problem with Green Lantern, though, is, like...
Other than the CGI not being up to snuff.
Well, it's like... You can't really do the Kyle Rayner thing because it's so far into the series, which means you have to make Hal Jordan a bad guy, which means they kind of have to... Like, you have to do so much more because you can't just be like, oh, there's this guy named Parallax. Like, it doesn't really work because Parallax, it's really relevant to who he used to be, so you end up having to make, like, 3 or 4 movies, and that's what I think the problem is. I think Kyle Rayner would be great for a darker Green Lantern type of thing, but...
Here's my thing. and I'll even use Spider-Man 3 as a reference here. If you're gonna do something like that with the parallax thing, like they did with the Venom thing, you need to build it up, start off exceedingly small. Like, for example, if they had wanted to do Venom from the beginning, and I know Sam Raimi didn't want to do Venom at all, but if you want to do Venom at all in your trilogy, or whatever series you want to do, introduce Eddie Brock right away in your first movie, and establish who he is and how he's related to Peter, because they have a relationship.
Right.
He also has a relationship with Spider-Man to some degree, but there's a relationship there. Build it up over your series, so that way when he does turn to Venom, you're like, not just blindsided by a new character who suddenly becomes evil, but now it's like a character you've grown to know is like, oh,
holy fuck,
this
that guy's evil.
This is a twist.
Right, because it's like with Batman, like, you don't need a backstory for Joker. Like, The Killing Joke is a fantastic graphic novel, and I would highly recommend it. But
Joker's an entity of chaos to begin with.
Joker exists, and everyone knows he exists, and there's no twist. What? You know, Bob from down the street is Joker? It's like, he's Joker, and you know he's Joker. But, like, Eddie Brock was Eddie Brock for a while, and then he becomes something else, and that's...
And going with this Parallax thing, like, I would say Parallax, okay, mention him in, like, the first movie, like, maybe at the inception of the whole Yellow Lantern begins the new thing.
Yeah.
Like, that could be where you start the name drop of Parallax and you show a little of it.
Yeah.
But then in the second movie, make it so it's more involved, but not directly. And then third movie, make it so he possesses Hal Jordan. Make it so Kyle Rayner's to take over the helm at that point, and there you go. Yeah. That way you have a trilogy right there. It writes itself pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think it could be done, but I'm just going to pretend like the movie doesn't exist and go back to reading my comic books. And
they need to reboot that, because if they're going to do a League movie and they insist on making that part of the canon, no one's going to be happy with it.
I don't know. Like, hopefully this new Superman movie is good, and hopefully it makes me not hate Superman as much as a hero, but my hopes aren't that high for it.
It's got Zack Snyder directing.
That's true.
And Zack Snyder, I mean, people hate on Sucker Punch, but I fucking love it. It was great. And I think that, you know, he's got a good eye for good movies.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
You have limited ammo on this, bro.
Yeah, shurikens and arrows are not the same thing.
You already used 2 arrows.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
It's just, I'm using a wooden sword now, because I bought a different sword, and I'm like, wooden sword also?
And let me guess, wooden sword doesn't do any fucking damage.
It probably not.
Yeah. But, no, I mean, we have some pretty spirited debates at work. I wish we could record our superhero debates.
I wish we could record more stuff at work, because I think that
we have some fantastic conversations there.
I actually have infinite ammo on this fight.
Oh, do you have in this fight? Okay.
There's a corpse right here with arrows.
That gives... Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, shit! Took out his horse!
But no, like, we have some great, you know, especially when Sean and I team up on air, and that's always fun, but...
Oh, you guys are awful.
Flash is poop. Flash is a bad hero.
Magneto is the best hero.
I want you to argue that. I
feel like I could make a stronger argument for that, too.
What, you can make it stronger than Flash is a good hero?
Well, no, Flash is a good hero, but I just don't know enough about him to work with.
That's true. Yeah. You have to actually, like, read it.
Whereas Magneto, I've got the cartoon show, I've got the movies, I've seen some of the comics, and I've got multiple TV shows, actually, to work with, where it's like, you know, all you do is just point to Ian McKellen and say, that's why. That's why Magneto's better.